Hey guys, and welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast with me, Alex Whiteley. And today we've got a really cool episode. It is the return of Hans Donner. One of my favourite guests of the Shrewsbury Biscuit gets a second spin for his very own second episode. Really cool guy. He's doing some amazing stuff, and he's been on the adventure of a lifetime, which we're going to be talking about very shortly. I think it's safe to say it's been a very interesting year this year. We all know about my woes. I've talked about loads on the podcast, but I feel like we're finally on track now. But I do want to celebrate 2025 because it has been such an important year for the Shrewsbury Biscuit in the way that I've realised that this is the thing I need to do to keep me focused and keep me feeling present. I think is the best way of looking at it. I feel like one time when I'm listening to other people's stories and giving other people a voice, I feel like I have purpose, and that's really important. And you know what? We've got a couple of episodes left of the year, but we've got 2026 to look forward to and build on with this year. I would like to invite you all, if you have people that you want to, bring on the show, want me to invite onto the show. If you're listening to this and you'd like to come and have a crack at coming on the show, then please get in touch. Always looking for interesting stories. I'm actually working on some incredible stories as we speak, some things that we can bring to the podcast that will inspire and also offer awareness as well. So I'm speaking to a few people. We're speaking to the police. I want to talk about safety, women's safety, that kind of thing. We're going to be doing some podcasts about health, and also inspiring stories about creating your own change of wind and going in a different direction to what you're supposed to be doing in life. So we've got some really cool stuff lined up. But if you do want to get involved, drop me a message. I'm on Facebook and all that, Instagram. You can email me to at shrewsburybiscuitpodcast@gmail.com. But I'll tell you what, very short intro. I'm just going to get into this podcast because this episode is wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast, Mr. Hans Donner. Enjoy. Hi, guys. So today I'm bringing back a guest to the podcast, but unlike Hans Gruber, Hans Donner fell more than once, and professionally too, with the help of parachute. That joke sounded so much better earlier. I was like, I've got to fit in a Hans Gruber joke because it's Hans Donner.
Yeah.
But you're back on the show.
I know. Thanks, Alex. Thanks for having me again. Awesome.
It's great. Honestly, like seeing what you have been up to, I am absolutely even more than last time in awe of having you here, honestly, because you've been doing so much.
You're too kind. Yeah, it's I'm just trying to remember, it's been over a year since I last popped in to see you.
Probably about 18 months or something. It's got to be.
Yeah, lots happened
because I think it was like October, so it's been and so for anybody who doesn't know, I mean, you guys are all like regular listeners by now of the Shrewsbury Biscuit, surely. But we got Hans on the show last time. Base jumping, skydiving badass from Shropshire.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
So we got to go back. I think we got to so you're a base jumper, skydiving instructor.
Yeah.
Right. Which one floats your boat more? I mean, obviously the base.
That's the stuff. They're the same, but they're not. So anyone that doesn't know, sort of skydiving is, you're jumping out of planes, anything sort of aviation wise.
You're like a safety officer as well.
Yeah. So the skydiving side, like I said, is jumping out of aviation, sort of any planes, helicopters, those sorts of things. You've got 2 parachutes, whereas the base jumping is you've got 1 parachute, but you can jump off either a building, antenna, span, which is your bridges, and then the earth, which is your cliffs and things like that. But my actual day job now is I'm a safety officer for British Skydiving.
Yeah.
So for the whole of the UK, I'm in I'm in charge of safety.
And then you got this like alter ego where like I'm a little bit unhinged. Like I got to jump off a bridge. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's that side to it. That's my my sort of my relaxation. That's my headspace sort of thing to do. I've been skydiving since I was 16, which is like 29 years. So it's 30 years next year. So I definitely must be getting old. Base jumping since. What was it, 2010? So that, it's 15 years. But yes, the base jumping for me it's exciting. I get to go places that no one else does. There's obviously a bit of a sneaky part to it as well, which I don't sort of share as much with work and things like that. But
did you? I was right. You jumped off the market hall cocked up. No. He's like, no, that wasn't me.
That wasn't me, but I'd love to know who that was. That's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but someone did do that, I believe.
Oh, right, okay. Because like it's frowned upon, isn't it? Is it illegal? Is it?
I think it's because obviously you're entering sort of buildings that you shouldn't be. So there's different laws for it and things like that. So
yeah, the guy fell off my house.
Exactly. So there's the whole like sort of legal sort of thing to it to a side. I also teach base jumping, and when I start teaching the guys to that side of life, it's just respect the property, no breaking or entering. If you can gain access without sort of damaging things, that's the way to do it.
And we discovered last time that a lot of planning and preparation goes into a base jump. You don't just like find some place willy-nilly and just jump.
No, I think a lot of people have like a misconstrued sort of thought about actually what goes on with base jumping. They just think it's quite reckless. But if you were to spend sort of like a couple of nights, with sort of base jumpers, you have like a massive insight. There's the landing areas, checking the winds, just the equipment. There's so much goes into it. It's just not you're just going to go up there and jump. There's a lot more into it.
Because shortly after I spoke to you, there was them videos of you guys flying off cliffs with motorbikes. And like
so that was actually my old team. So that was a man-to-man base. They're still cracking on doing some crazy things as well. We parted ways just with work and things like that. Just got in the way. But yeah, they've been doing sort of some absolutely crazy stuff. So it's nice to see those guys are still sort of sending it as well.
Backflip. What's that bridge that you guys backflip off? The one the really high one.
So the really high one, that's in France. That's in Melaus. It's the highest bridge in Europe.
Okay.
It's just short of 1,000 feet. So it's like a bit of a mecca for people in Europe to go jump up. It's a beautiful bridge. So yeah,
there's lots of videos of you guys dressed up as like Spider-Man.
I've done Spider-Man, Wolverine, all those sorts of things and stuff like that. So the last one was quite sketchy, so I don't jump with any suits anymore because it's got a bit tasty.
Do you find yourself doing lots of eventing? Because skydiving teams, they get called in for all sorts, dive into Wembley, or they do these kind of like sports events. Have you ever done anything like that?
I've done sort of when I was ex-military, we did sort of quite a few big events around the UK. There's lots of display teams. Sort of more noticeable is the Red Devils, which is the Power Edge display team. So they do sort of quite high profile. But saying that, sort of some of the civilian display teams, they still do sort of high events, and that happens like throughout the season. There's loads out there.
What I find incredible about you, and it's something that because there's a couple of things since we spoke, is like. Obviously I'm a bit of a pudding. If I was to do a skydive, I'd have to lose weight, but like if I ever got to that point when I was kind of like leaning out of a plane ready to jump, like what would be going through I think a lot of people probably think about what would be going through your mind as you're about to do that. But for you've been doing this since you were in your youth.
Since I was 16. I was brought up on drop zones. Mum and dad used to jump in the military, so I've just been around sort of skydiving my whole life. So it just I don't want to say skydiving comes naturally, but it's just the thought process has always been there. So when I do tandems myself, when I'm taking tandems, or if I'm doing students, it's always interesting to see sort of how they react to things, because I guess I never really had that because it's always been embedded with me.
But what I understand about life is fears change when we get older, and I'm not trying to put you off skydiving. I don't want you to walk out of there going, Alex has ruined skydiving for me, I'll never do it again. But like I broke my ankle jumping off a balance beam thing. It was just like a car park beam thing I was balancing on, and jumped off, rolled my ankle. I did that at 2 feet. Do you know what I mean? Like as you get older and your body can't really move the way it does anymore, like I think your priorities change. Have you found any changes as you're getting a bit older in life?
No, I think I still pride myself on keeping fit. I'm 45 years now.
You are a strapping young man.
Thanks, Axel. You make me blush. But no, I'm keeping reasonably fit, and I can still sort of keep up with the young uns as well. And I'm not quite ready to let it go just yet and get taken over.
I'm still glad to hear.
I'm still going strong. I feel
there's life in him yet. I love that.
I'm still. I think there's quite a lot of life left in me yet. Or probably a bit later on, we'll talk about sort of like future plans and projects that are coming up and things like that.
Nice. Do you think adrenaline? I mean, do you still feel the adrenaline when you do it every time, or does it become numb the more you do it?
It's like I went back before. It's I think because I've been around the sport, it's just been like a natural it's just been part of what I do, because I've understood all the dynamics of everything. I still get an actual buzz from it, from skydiving. Base jumping is completely different, because that's on a whole new level.
The ground's coming a lot quicker.
Yeah, you're going, say, skydiving average is 13,000 feet. Base jumping, local cliff is Lanamunnock. I think we talked about that last time, which is about 135 feet. So there's a big difference there. So
yeah. You got a lot less time to react, I guess, with base jumping. You've got to know what you're doing as you're doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. There's, they say to get into base jumping, you're looking at about 200 skydives before you even really sort of think about what's.
I guess that's got to be muscle memory, right? It's got to be like.
Yeah. There's muscle memory. There's your thought process, just being aware of actually what's going on with everything as well. You need to be a lot quicker with it. So they say 200 jumps. When I take my courses, I always specify 200 jumps, just so that they're the right sort of suitability before actually getting on the course.
So they're responsible enough to be able to pull off the right moves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all about risk management. So that's my life has been really about sort of risk management. Since I was a young kid. So I was packing parachutes since I was 8 years old, up until now that I'm, in charge of, also almost in charge of safety for the whole of the UK.
When you're training new skydivers coming in, what kind of behaviors do you have to wean out of people? Because I guess you get lots of maverick style, like on the skydive. Is there anything that you have to sort of wean out of people? Maybe that may seem natural, or maybe it becomes like I don't know, maybe bragging rights, arrogance. I don't know. Is there anything that you need to?
I think ego. I think that's the biggest thing I've seen out. That's the thing about with any sort of extreme sport, is ego is the one that's going to get you in the end. And it's just, I wouldn't say it's trying to wean it out of people. It's just, maybe that is the right word, but just trying to make people realize that, there's dangers involved in what we do. And it's not about the sort of destination. It's about the long ride, and just making sure they understand the sort of, what potentially could happen if they don't pay attention, or they're not listening, or if they're doing it for the wrong reasons. Like I said, ego is the one that's going to...
That can lead to risk, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I remember I started skydiving, there was hardly any sort of social media back then. You just did it for the love.
Sure.
And unfortunately, it does a lot for the sport. Is you're getting a lot of young people who just see the cool factor in it, and not realizing how dangerous it actually can be.
But it does look freaking cool.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite heavy on social media, but that's because obviously with work and what I do and things like that as well. And it's great to look back on things. We don't have like photo albums anymore. We have social media, so that's what I keep. It's nice to come look back and just think, I've achieved this and whatnot.
Nice. So since I last saw you were with Mountain Man Base, and you said you parted ways because work was... Yeah. It's kind of, you got to have that balance, haven't you, sometimes?
Yeah, exactly. And, different ideas and stuff like that. So I made a decision to go on my own, set my own sort of skydiving base school up. So I've been doing that for... since we last spoke, so that's the 18 months. And since then, since May this year, I took up a safety role with British Skydiving. It's a bit of a desk role, but there's nothing wrong with that. So as I said, easing into that a bit of older life, but I'm still sort of at weekends, till stock, still, Europe when I can. And then recently just been to Nepal. And
I was kind of rounding down to Nepal because obviously this is one of the main reasons why I need to get you back. I said to you, like, dude, you need to come back on to talk about this, because I know in hindsight it did take a while to sort of progress, but it seemed, when you look back, it kind of happened so quickly. One minute you're like, oh, I've been accepted on this team, then you're posting pictures of you guys about to jump over, and then it's done, and I was like, what?
To be honest, that was pretty much the same situation for myself as well. It happened so quick, it really did. Yeah. Is
skydiving over a mountain range like the Andes, or like the Mount Everest, or diving over something like that? Is there more difficulties to that than there are to a normal skydive? I mean,
yeah. So most drop zones, especially if we talk about the UK, so most drop zones in the UK, they're on airfields. The landing areas are nice, completely flat. It's just fields of lovely grass, everything else.
Nice, easy places to land.
Exactly, and most airfields aren't sort of any higher than sort of maybe 500 foot above sea level, so the oxygen's all good, that sort of thing. So then you switch over to, you know, jumping over looking Everest, and the DZ was already at sort of the PLA where we land, which is the parachute landing area, is at 13,500 feet. So the oxygen obviously is way more thinner there as well. And then we're going up. So in the UK, just referring back to your normal exit altitude would be anywhere between 13 to 15,000 feet. So already when we go to Nepal, that airfield is at 13,000 feet. So that's the height we're exiting from.
Oh, wow.
That's the height we're landing from. So that's in itself is
So how much higher did you have to go then just to get that?
So we went up to 24,000 feet.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
alien territory for you then.
Being ex-military, I've done a few sort of high altitude jumps. But for me, it's all about location at that point. There's lots more things to consider. Sort of obviously your fitness levels, fitness needs to be on point. Understanding how the equipment works, and then obviously going up. And you know, just I'm smiling now, just trying to sort of like.
You got a beaming smile.
I've got a beaming. You can really, people can hear it through the sound, but just I can't. I think I said this so many times before, but when people ask about this, it's just the immense size of everything. It's just I can't get over it. It's just unbelievable.
I can't compare. I've never been to Nepal, but I've been a well-traveled boy, but like the Alps, for example, we've flown over the Alps many times, and like even flying over the Alps, I mean, it's long, it's big, the Alps. You know what I mean,
yeah.
So to think about what it looks like above Everest is just,
I mean,
gargantuan.
We were jumping at 24,000 feet, and we were still below the mountains of the Himalayas at that point. And there's mountains that still, rising above that. So then I was able to. I had like what we call a tracking suit. So it's not quite a wingsuit, but it's the same size as a wingsuit. But I was able to sort of fly around for about a minute, taking in the views, and it was really hard not to lose concentration and just look at just the amazing views. But obviously you go back to your training, then obviously you have to open your parachute, and then that's another whole ball game together, because if you miss the PLA, you're inside of a mountain, so you need to be on point with that one.
Weird question, maybe a weird, I don't know, but like I know gravity is gravity, but like wind resistance is also a huge part of when you fall.
Yeah.
When you're up there and the air's thinner.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
you're falling quicker then, right?
Yeah, you fall like a little bit quicker. I couldn't go into the actual the maths of. But
let's break out the maths.
Yeah,
let's go.
I have to come back for that one. I was never good at maths at school. Maybe I skydive. But yeah, so just. Even on my big tracking suit, wingsuit as you call it, you could really feel it. So I'll show you the video in a bit, and you can actually see me sort of wobbling, and that's actually just trying to sort of catch as much sort of resistance as possible, sort of air, as to speak. So for those first sort of 10 seconds, it just felt quite alien, because it's there's like less air up there. So
it's incredible. Right, I'm going to put a line there. We'll come back to it, because we're getting very excited and I love that. But like, I need to understand how this happened. I mean, did you approach what's the team's name?
So it's Skydive Nims. So Skydive Nims. I don't know if you ever Netflix 14 Peaks. So there's a guy there.
No, but it's on my list to watch. I'm sure it is.
Watch it tonight. Just Alex, watch it tonight. It's just amazing. So ex Special Forces guy. He went and did the 14 highest mountains in the world, and I think there was a record. It took over 20 years to complete. This guy did it in like 9 months or something like that. Literally uber fit. Just what a anyone just with that level of fitness and commitment and everything else. I won't go into too much detail about it because it will give the game away. But so he did that, and I had the opportunity a couple of years ago to go work for his company. Doing some AFF, which is accelerated freefall training for a couple of his clients that wanted to learn how to skydive. And one of those clients I got to know very well, became very friendly. And then literally, I think it was about 2 months prior to the actual expedition going off, got a phone call saying, thanks very much for all your help. We're going to sponsor you to go on this trip. So yeah, so a bit of just knowing the right people, and just I'm very humbled. I've been, as I said, within the sport for all my life, and to get that opportunity that I've dreamt about, wanting to go to base camp, and then literally the opportunity to actually jump overlooking Everest was just almost in tears at that point. And I did get very emotional once the jump had complete. But that's how it sort of really came about in a nutshell. There's more twists and turns, but
I'm sure.
Yeah, at ground level, that's how it happened.
And your training before this went off, because from what I remember, it was like you've been accepted, and within like 2 or 3 weeks you were going to do it, right? Was that?
It's about 2 months. It's about 2 months.
About 2 months.
Yeah, I think if I give them
concepts of time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy that I keep my fitness up and things like that. And I'm quite lucky that I had that 2 months just to get back into a little bit of extra fizz. But the thing about going up sort of to high altitude is that you never know how your body's going to react to being obviously less oxygen. So you could be the most fittest person in the world, and it'll just hit you just like that. I mean, there was people, as we're obviously heading towards the airfield and going towards base camp, there's people just getting airlifted back or having to go back down because of altitude sickness. So quite lucky and touch wood, and I never suffered with anything. So yeah, it seems to do all right.
That's something we're familiar with. Obviously, my wife's Colombian. All the family in Bogota.
Yep.
Which is a very high city. It's quite high up. So whenever we go, sometimes the altitude, even just walking around the city like Bogota, can really mess with your body a little bit. Like it can take you a couple of days just to sort of calibrate a little.
Yeah. So when we first got out, you arrive at Kathmandu. That's a crazy place. I don't know if you ever.
Really?
Yeah. Just
in what way? Like intense?
Just intense. It's just busy, just constantly busy. It's just yeah, and it's a beautiful. Everyone's just very friendly, just an amazing place to be around.
There's a lot of mountain bros. Yeah, bro, we climb the mountain, bro.
No, I wouldn't say it's any of that. It's something you have to. I mean, you can spot the people that are sort of like trekking.
Yeah,
yeah. They stand out a mile away from sort of the locals as such. But you get into Kathmandu, spend a couple of days there, and then literally head out. You fly from Kathmandu into a place called Lukla, which is at 9,000 feet, and it's the most dangerous airfield in the whole world.
Is that because of the
just the mountains? Yeah, just the mountains. And if they mess up the actual landing, you're just gonna be in the side of a mountain. So, and I hate flying, and everyone laughs because obviously you skydive, and I think we talked about that last time. Is this flying? It just scares the hell out of me. And then the simple fact that we're flying to the most dangerous airfield. But,
do you know what? They can get anybody there. My brother-in-law. I remember we were going to coming back from Colombia, I think we were, and he's a pilot. And there's turbulence, and he's grabbing onto his chair.
Yeah.
So it can affect anyone.
Yeah, exactly. And that's me as 100%. You arrive in Lukla. And
sorry, Jaime, by the way.
I do get a lot of laughs when I go on my planes abroad. But yeah, you arrive in Lukla, 9,000 feet, and then you spend the next sort of 4 days. We spent the next 4 days like heading towards the airfield. And each of those days, you're going up by 1,000 foot here and there.
On foot?
On foot, just walking.
All your equipment?
So I had my own parachute, so taking that. But I must admit, I didn't carry that because you have your Sherpas.
Oh, right.
And they carry a kit for you. Because
I always think about Sherpas because I always think, there's people climb Everest and stuff like that. But I'm thinking, Sherpas must do it like every week.
Yeah, so
do you know what I mean?
Those guys, they're so amazing. They're acclimatized. They're used to the lack of oxygen as you get higher up. But they're singing and dancing. They're running around you, and you're taking about 3 steps, and you're having to breathe hard. And that's even the fittest people because it just hits you really hard. But these guys are so used to it. They're so fit because they're just literally just up and down and cutting around, and they're just amazing. I mean, without those guys, that trip would have taken probably about a month just to get the kit there.
Yeah,
but they're just flying. They just basically put about 30 kg on their back, and they're just off they pop.
That's nice.
Yeah. So well done to them, and thank you them for just such a. I mean, the team itself, there's 4 of us jumping, and I think there's about probably in terms of all the Sherpas and everything else for that particular trip, there's about 25 people. Just to get the kit out there as well, and that's the oxygen systems and everything else.
It's good that there's that as a service for them to live off. I guess you can drink, by the way. I always say it because I know people find it hard to get sips in between talking, but like as a Sherpas, it's like something that's like people might be like, but that's how they make a living. Like if it wasn't for that scenario where they're in that terrain and where they live, their habitat, they wouldn't have.
Yeah, I guess it's twofold as well, because there's the tourism, and you can see it's massive there as well. But then it gives you opportunity to actually see that part of the world as well, which is just absolutely amazing. It's just it was actually quite nice. You walk around sort of the local walks around here and you see bits of rubbish and stuff like that. And it wasn't like that out there.
No.
It was, I was just walking along, and if someone saw a bit of rubbish, that was straight in the pocket and stuff like that. Try and keep it all nice and clean. I think when you go up to sort of the higher parts up Everest and some of the bigger mountains, it's a bit different because trying to get the rubbish down is a little bit. But just what a clean place as well, which is quite nice to see.
I felt really good about myself. I was up the Wrekin the other day, but it was that one day when we had like hailstorms.
Yeah.
We haven't had hailstorms since, but like the one day we had hailstorms here, I was like, I was on top of the Wrekin when that happened.
Yeah.
And I stormed the trig point because I was like, it's there. And the rain was hitting the side of my face. And I was like, oh my God.
Lovely.
And I touched it. I couldn't take any photos because you couldn't even see Shropshire. It had gone. And then by the time we got to the bottom, I was drenched, but the sun came out. I mean, I felt like I was a hero for doing that. What was weather like for you when you were out there? Like,
so yeah, we got really, so up until obviously when we did the skydives, the weather was really good. Absolutely no dramas there. And then once we finished that part of the expedition, the next part was head to base camp. That's obviously a feat in itself. So base camp, I believe someone will probably change this, but I believe it's 18,500 feet. So obviously a bit higher. We literally I think we were less than 8 kilometers away from base camp when we got hit by a snowstorm, and we got stuck.
Really?
And then we got stuck for 5 days. So that was an adventure in itself.
Did you have enough supplies and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, because the route is so well founded, there's tea huts or tea rooms, those sorts of things. So there's accommodation. You've got plenty of supplies and stuff like that. It's just that you're just stuck on the
probably a Lidl up there, right? I'm joking.
You'd be surprised actually how much stuff's up there. There's bars and cafes and stuff like that. So
that's cool.
It's just getting there.
I can't imagine having a few beers and that altitude is good for you.
Well, saying that, so when we're at Namche Bazaar, which is just at 12,500 feet, they've got the highest Irish bar. And
they're everywhere, aren't they? Literally.
So as we're acclimatizing, and we found out the aircraft and the weather wasn't really we're going to touch and go for the very first, like a bit of a bonus day to see if we could get it done early.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the aircraft couldn't get to the airfield, so we decided to have a few Guinnesses.
As you do
at 12,500 feet, and with the altitude, the beers do take their toll on that a little bit more. My friend Steve, he had a one too many, and he actually felt quite rough the next day.
I imagine. Yeah. I'm going to go grab a few hazy jeans after this because it's nice, isn't it? Oh, that's cool though that there's bars and stuff like that. Because I always think like base camp at Everest is just being like. I remember watching K2 the movie when I was a kid and thinking, oh my God, like it's like in the middle of nowhere and you're gonna if you fall you're gonna die. Oh. But like Everest is like bigger than K2, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
So yeah, I got to sort of make sure I'm get my facts right. So obviously, as you get near towards Everest, it gets sparser and sparser.
Yeah, sure.
We're up to the point where it was actually still quite busy, and then as I said, as we got that 8 kilometers away, that was really sort of the last point where you sort of got the tea houses. Then it just becomes huts and
that's when you realise you're in the biz. Then
exactly. So we're at the fringe of it, and because of that snowstorm, that's what unfortunately we couldn't go any further. It just gets too risky, and sadly, as we're stuck in that snowstorm, there's actually people on top of mountains, and a few people lost their lives. Unfortunately, yeah. That's the nature of the sport. It can, with especially the weather, it can just hit you, straight away. We had beautiful weather, and then all of a sudden we just had this snowstorm, and that was it for 5 days.
So I need to stop complaining about getting hit in the face with hail.
No.
On the Wrekin.
It's all relevant, and it was actually, in the grand scheme of things, we didn't make it to base camp, but I actually got to see some beautiful views. Got to play in the snow for a bit as well.
Yeah.
I remember back in the early 80s, back in the UK, used to have some proper snow. So it was actually nice to
we have like 1 or 2 days now, slush.
I know, just slush and sleet. That's what we get now. Yeah.
So when it comes to what with the equipment that you're carrying compared to what you would carry to a normal skydive, is there more weight? Is the equipment heavier for the shirkers to carry? I mean, like, what's the comparison like?
So when we go to your normal drop zone, you drive. Let's say Tilstock in Whitchurch, where I started jumping, and I still jump there now as an instructor. So I normally take my car up there, which takes me about 35 minutes. If I rode, listen to a bit of a podcast, listen to your podcast on the way. You rock up, you got a little bag, chuck it on the floor. put your parachute on, and then literally
away you go.
and away you go. But this is just like, it's completely different where if you want to carry equipment, you're just going to be hanging out because I said it's so tough. So it's 4 days to get to 4 or 5 days to get to the airfield, and then all the Sherpas are carrying all your equipment. You've also got the oxygen as well, all the oxygen equipment. You've got the canisters, different type of aircraft. It's a helicopter as well.
You guys have full face masks on, didn't you?
Yeah, it's just basically just a mask on as well, just for the oxygen. So understanding how all that works, because I was a jump master. So a jump master's role is to be in charge of the aircraft and the people, making sure everything's all good. Well, so not in charge of the aircraft, but in charge of the people. So a bit of extra responsibility. So understanding how all the equipment works.
So if someone's not breathing properly through their equipment, you got to know how to sort of like...
Yeah, exactly. Look, you're telling for telltale signs of hypoxia, all that sort of good stuff.
What's hypoxia?
Like just lack of oxygen to the head, or to the brain, should I say.
That's when people start thinking their hands have gone weird colours.
Yeah, you start sort of blanking out on those sorts of things.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So you're just checking on people, and there's SOPs, which is standing operating procedures, if anything goes wrong on what to deal with. So there's all that to take in as well. So yeah, like I said, the team was just immense, and it went without a hitch. So that's really good. And I think we got lucky with the weather as well. So that's good.
Brilliant. Yeah, the gap in the weather. Did you get your gap in the weather today? I was looking at the weather today because we were chatting earlier. Yeah. You were like, I'm looking for a gap in the weather. Is that a gap in the weather, what we had today?
So,
these guys?
Yeah, so in terms of skydiving, sort of we don't do much during the week because Tilsock's open sort of Fridays and Saturdays, closed on Sundays. In terms of base jumping, that's what I'm really sort of looking for at the moment. But the winds need to be extra sort of calm and things like that.
At the moment, isn't it?
So yeah, at the moment it really is. I think we've got like a massive weather front. Most skydivers, when they've been around the sport long enough, they become weathermen, and there's a massive front out in the Atlantic, hence why we're getting all this bad weather now. So
okay. Because I was like, my wife was like, it's warm today, isn't it? I was like, yep, that means there's bad weather to come.
Well, yeah.
What could have like postponed this event? What could have like cancelled it with weather-wise? What were you kind of like praying not to see when you got up there? And maybe it would it have been cancelled if the weather would have been bad? Or
yeah, so we only had a 3-day window with a 4-day sort of bonus at the start, so to speak. So it's cloud. Cloud is the big one. You need to make sure you can see the airfield or the drop zone, because as I said, if you land off, it's just the terrain.
Probably deaf. Yeah,
more than likely. That's the in my head. It's just you need to be on point on how you fly your canopy. And if you're jumping out and you don't know exactly where you are, you could end up in a right old pickle and everything else. So
crashing into a brick wall.
Well, crashing to the side of a mountain, and then obviously trying to get people, to get to you as well and things like that. So, and the helicopters, they only fly in good weather as well. So it's such a, in the UK, skydiving or anywhere in the world is such a weather dependent sport, but in that type of environment, it just needs to be 100% on side with you as well. So
you talked about how when you were like sort of looking out over and you see the magnificent view that you saw, but the moment that you're used to leaning out of aircraft. I mean, that's kind of what you do for a living, but like the moment you're leaning over Everest, what's going through your head as you're about to jump out?
It's like you want to take it all in. You want to take in like how big and the beauty of everything just looks, and how Mother Nature is just absolutely outstanding. But there's also a point where you have to focus on your drills, and it's the first time I think I wouldn't say I was nervous, but there was a bit of me thinking. No, I think what if's the wrong word. It was just I had to sort of check myself, because not saying things come naturally, but it's just I just go through just like a process.
It's the magnitude of the
exactly, and it's just you have to really reel yourself back a little bit just to go right. You are jumping out of a plane. There is potentially of something to go wrong. Just think about your drills, and then it would be flipping back to, oh my god, this is amazing. So yeah, back into from that.
So 24,000 to 13,000, that gives you about a 10,000, 11,000 gap.
Yeah.
How long does that take you to fall that?
Yeah, so I had my tracking suit, so that basically that gives you a bit of extra lift. So I had about a minute of free fall.
Yeah.
And that was really nice. Did like a nice carving turn to the right, and just as I was just flying through,
taking it all in.
Just taking it all in. So, and then I did 2 jumps in total, and then the next day I did a second jump, and that was just what we call slick. So that's just in no suit or anything like that. Just basically just jumped out, just spun
Was it
around.
cold?
No, because we got so many layers on.
Okay.
It was nice to actually get some sponsorship from a few companies to get the clothing as well, because that
To wrap yourself in foil, like.
yeah, exactly. So it's at that type of altitude as well. You need some heavy duty, clothing to.
Oh, okay. I sort of pictured, like, you know how people just like wear normal clothes to skydive.
I mean, in the UK, you can
You do that, but not not.
not out there. Just for safety reasons as well,
God,
because the second day the clouds did roll in, but the clouds rolled in that was such a high altitude that we could still jump.
Okay, cool.
And but as soon as those clouds rolled in, I tell you what, the temperature just started plummeting.
Really?
And obviously that's on your body with the wind chill factor as well. So you got to take that into account, especially your hands as well. If you can't feel your hands, you can't feel your to open your parachute.
What about when you land? You said that you were feeling a bit emotional when you landed, and you.
Yeah. So my friend Ben came out of me. He's from Tilstock as well. I actually taught Ben how to skydive on some of his on his tuition. He came out just to do like a miniature project.
He's your Padawan then.
Yeah, he's my little Padawan. He's doing really well. He's actually one of his kids is in the wind tunnel and learning how to skydive in the wind tunnel as well, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
And he came out and. He started asking me once I landed. He was in full documentary mode, asking me questions about my family, about how my parents were they proud of me, and I think that set me off because I think it's they sort of brought me into the sport. They never forced jumping onto me. I've just lived around it, and it was always a case of as soon as I hit my 16th birthday, if you want to do a jump, that's up to you. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. And I was just like, I'll give it a go. And I think for me, it was never like, oh my God, that was amazing. Because I said I've been brought up around it. I thought, that was pretty cool. I'll keep going with it. And then you get to that point where, I landed and I just had this flashback of my whole life and how lucky I've actually been to do these things and stuff like that. And that was just like an emotional wave. So it did actually bring a tear to my eye because it's just, just an amazing part of my life.
Do you know what that means to me? Like that. That's really nice because, like I said, you've been doing this like your whole life pretty much, but there's still moments out there that you reserve for being special.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I said, I look back at my life and I just think I'm so lucky because there's people out there that that may have like day-to-day struggles with all sorts of stuff, be it work, family, mental health and stuff like that. We all go through it, even myself. But I'm so fortunate that my job is my passion as well. I'm so lucky to do that. And then, like I said, it just hit me, and I was just, as I said, just brought a lot of emotion back and things like that. And that's never why I want to sit still. There's other things I want to be able to achieve and just keep going for, because it's like, you get one, who knows how many chances you get in this life. I don't know, but let's just try and make the most of it.
Do you think like those times when you're up there and you've kind of got to repress your I guess your emotions because you got to be professional?
Yeah.
Do you think that kind of like keeps it like a coiled spring, and then when you get down the bottom and you can actually give yourself the license to be?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like
I think that anyone that really knows me, I'm actually a very emotional person. If they know the real hands, and yeah. So when those things happen, it's just a relief. There's nothing wrong with that. That's all good. But there are times where you have to sort of keep it in because sometimes you can let emotions override certain things that you need to make sure that you're absolutely switched on for.
And I'm sure there are going to be people listening to this that, like those guys from Netflix, these people are like, well, that makes him the guy for us, because it means that you are a professional, you're good at what you do, you're a leader. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. It's
so the guys from Netflix. I mean, is this a one-off? Now you get foots in the door. Do you reckon you'll be able to do much more with these guys? I mean, that sounds good.
These guys are on another level. I mean, as much as I get, I've been a lot of praise for doing this and things like these guys. I mean, they're at the forefront. We had a couple of Red Bull people jumping with us as well, doing sort of like projects out there. On like full wingsuits, and some of the stuff they're doing, I'm just like absolutely blown away. So I'm just quite happy just to be like a little drop in the ocean of what they do, and I'm happy with what I do. If it leads on to bigger things, that's really cool. And I'm always going to push to do like more things. I've got a few projects coming up over the next couple of years, and it's just nice to be part of it. But yeah, always push yourself.
What I mean now, I'm not saying you're slowing down by any way, but like it's a new job now where you said it's a bit of a desk job.
Yeah,
you've just done Everest, jumping over thing. Like, what's next, man? I mean, what can we do to top that? I mean.
Yeah, so
take some photos, by the way.
Yeah, no drama. So a few projects. So I've already signed up to climb Mont Blanc next year. So not skydiving over it, but just to climb the highest mountain.
Nice.
My dad did that when he was in the army. It'd just be nice to actually go somewhere where he actually climbed as well, just to have that bit of connection. I think that'd be pretty cool.
We just spoke to Denire from Rays of Sun. Rays of Sun. Well, I'm going to go Rays of Sun chat. Rays of Sun. This is going to be a hard edit. We had a really good conversation. Ray of Sun Adventures. There we go. I'm going to leave that in because you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
But Denire was great. And we talked about sort of like being out in nature and sort of grounding and pushing yourself to the next level and being in a position where you can conquer these things. Do you get the opportunity to do that? Things like go climb up Mont Blanc, or do you like to go mountain climbing as well as?
Yes, I have done. So when I used to be with Mountain Man Base, my climbing skills or anything like that were pretty poor. We had Dave Gallagher, real nice guy. He looked after us. He was like our lead mountaineer sort of thing, things like that. So, but over the years, just building up my own personal skills. Now it's up there that I can go do these things and things like that. And this is quite nice because I'm actually keeping my feet on the ground, which is quite nice. I'm going with a group of friends as well, so it's something a little bit different. I've got a few base jumping projects that I would like to get off the ground, but they're sort of a little bit top secret at the moment. One of the things I would like to do in terms of skydiving, I know that it would be really good if any of your listeners would know how I can jump the match ball into Shrewsbury football ground.
Okay,
that would be absolutely amazing. So I've reached out a few times, but I'm not sure if anyone's actually read it. I think that's mad. But
so you want to skydive into the stadium?
I want to skydive into the stadium with the match ball. So Skydive Tourstock, we have our own display team, and it'd be pretty cool if we could jump the match ball into the stadium. It's possible. It's in terms of technicality, it's doable. We just need the green light for us to do it.
I am part of the supporters panel, so I can speak to people.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That is the supporters panel, though, not Shrewsbury Town Football Club. So I don't know if that has any weight to it. I was in Whitchurch recently.
I've been recording so much
and
content.
I think I may have caught.
Well, we did like 5 minutes talking about.
I don't know.
Let's have a look.
Back to the story of when I got fired. Yeah, I told my boss that my scholar brother broke his leg at a company at work.
That's a tandem.
2 days later, my brother
surprised
me from Ireland.
I came in,
so and my boss was like,
"When was this? Did you say?"
Tail end of summer, I think.
Your brother broke his leg, did you?
Must be September, October.
We were talking about your resilience.
I was just like, I don't know. We could just see these parachutes in the skies. Oh my god, there's people skydiving.
After that,
and there's one just like I was talking about resilience and corkscrewing it down, and I was like, being able to pick yourself up. I imagine that's something that hands would do. And you were the first person skydiving because I was like, oh my god, even after like a really bad accident like that.
Yeah. So go back to
I know there's lots of people that do it over the military.
Yeah. So when it comes to tandems, we've got a small team, but we use different parachutes. We double malfunction. People use both parachutes. Both parachutes failed throughout the day. So potentially, like that could be one of them. They thought they thought she was dead.
If you always
covered her with a blanket, and then about 20 minutes later, they realised that she's still breathing.
Where in the UK?
I mean, Tourstock's
great.
2 years.
Great, but where's like the
Mecca
in the UK of skydiving? Where's the best place to go?
I think that's very hard because obviously I work for British skydiving,
headspace, everything else.
And then when I had my accident, each drop zone has its own hours, has its own location, its own views, ground to my car, and then getting to the car. I think I always have to go back to Tourstock because it's my own passion, and we just talked about pretty cool to jump over, you drive down the road and see a car accident. The best part of me for jumping is when it's at sunset.
As long as you learn from those, that's the main thing.
The sun's basically
that's kind of
setting over towards
what makes us better human beings.
Near Wales, that sort of thing. It's just such a beautiful view to see.
Before, and I think that makes you the most gnarly jump if you go make the same mistakes. Would it be Everest or would it be like something else? When you were apart from doing that, you were smashing into a new exit wall.
Yeah, so part of I jumped off that. So I think it's gnarly. It's with the old team where we're trying to open up as many exits as we potentially can. The map one of those gnarliest jumps.
I made a few jumping into central London mistakes and helicopter with base. Those mistakes into a real small arena.
Serious.
Whenever we go back to do that again, who knows?
Maybe
night
in the future, but maybe just
into a party. It did give me some real sort of big life lessons.
That's pretty gnarly.
Touch wood.
So that's pretty good. That definitely got the blood.
The fact that you landed, I was saying just before I realised my SD card was full. Indeed, I could picture your leg up in the air.
So there was that one. Skydive Till Stop. We also did.
No,
2 years ago. Coming up the next couple of weeks, we did the first
jump a new exit point. You get
water
to
night display
to Alderford Lake.
And actually, that was the first one
when I saw that
exit
UK.
point. I named it before I jumped. It was probably my mistake. You always jump it dead in the UK.
I'm not sure about the name of that one.
Definitely in the UK. So Till Stop will set on the map for that one. That was pretty intense.
I saw myself on that one.
Jumping into water has its
I don't know.
difficulties enough, but then it's full on as well. The team did a great job on that one. So I think those things to go wrong, or just like just wind or just something like that. So yeah, there's lots of variables.
By far, I think it's pretty good.
I love
skydiving in Australia as well. So
I love it
into the Whitsunday beaches,
clear crystal water, golden sands. That was pretty nice.
This thing going on my microphone.
And then the base jump in.
It doesn't pay the bills yet, but I get to do it. I feel like I'm grateful that I get to do this thing. It gets me into nice places. I get to meet nice
going
people.
to different cities, jumping around.
It's exploring society in the way that I know best, right? But you get to get
the local stuff like Lalamannock, very small, but again, beautiful place.
Get paid,
especially at sunset.
And then just going around that much, but no, it's not that much.
Give hands a raise, people.
It's not that much.
Have one question. I did ask for questions for you.
Anyone that's within the actual sport of skydiving and the rest of it, it's a lifestyle. If you want to have the house and all the rest of it, you do need to go get like a full-time job. I'm sort of coming that line now. I probably need to. Once they settle down, time ago,
she messaged me straight away. She's like, "I've got a question for Hans.
I'm
renting a square on the
go buy my own house and the rest of things like that. So, in the grand scheme of things, I think it was get to go around the world. I'm going to go on a date anyway. Amazing things in the afternoon. And I was just like, look, I checked the weather. I was like, okay, cool. In the morning,
mistakes that we made.
It would be like rider.
And there's a
majority of my friends have got like families just down the road from there, and I was just like, I've missed out on that because of what I do. That's my own choice. That's all good. But there is a part of me that should be
as you do.
Yeah, as you do. Just go jump a family and whatnot. So me and my friend were life like over 4 years now, but like I said, there's that balance where if you want to go and do these things, and one of my rules back then was you should really never jump alone.
Does take its toll.
It's something that can be quite lonely as well. That's I was just like
why not adventures, take my rig and just take a little break away. And you go back to reality.
And jumped off, and then
I was going to mention that. It's something I was going to close with.
A slate wall and shattered my leg, and no phone signal.
You go for all this training.
So and that's the whole.
Do all the travelling.
That's the whole new podcast. I think. Where I had to drag myself 300 meters to a car.
Yeah, you get back to reality.
Again, no phone signal.
Get into my car, then drive myself.
It's hard because, like I said, my friends are the people that I sort of do these adventures with.
And that's the only really time I get to see them. It's a very short amount of time, and the rest of it is just living that existence of working towards the next stage.
Yeah, because I had to change gear with my broken leg.
Like I said, that's why it's a lifestyle.
I remember
it is a constant 5 gear change to keep on going and things like that.
So
I wouldn't wish it can be hard. I drove myself to Gabon.
I should have gone to Shrewsbury, but I was like, Gabon's sort of like, I'm a bit of a pudding. I can probably lose a few pounds anyway.
That's good enough.
But like, the fact that you drove with a broken leg.
Yeah, so I finally got to Gabon, and I was like, I got a broken leg.
I still got the armrest of the chair when they were taking off sometimes. I mean, I'm well traveled boy, like I said.
Got to phone my parents, let them know first of all.
Jump out
and
of the plane.
Then
Probably.
My friend, but I think deep down as well, because I love hearing what people do. And they're like, really? And I was just like, I've definitely broken my leg. So
family and friends are just getting
when he had his bad accident,
because I've been in the sport for so long.
We had arranged to go canoeing together.
That's correct. And
when he rang me to cancel, he had sent a picture of him.
That's proof.
Gas and air.
Yeah, exactly. It's proof, because I think a lot of people will be like, well, as long as that's completely a massive cop out. So yeah, I took a picture of my broken leg and I got let off on that one.
Do you want to know how I got fired once? When I was 15, I worked
that's amazing. That's in a coffee shop. As long as you keep pushing yourself off, and that's the sort of the key to not the key to life.
I am expecting my wife and some back
aspects, I guess.
I was reading something about the Big Bang Theory. When I was 15, I worked in the coffee shop because that show is so popular. And my brother, it's like time lived in Ireland. It's a bit like Nickelback or whatever. You either really love it or you really really hate it. I think it was like he asked me to work overtime, and I said to him, I'm really sorry, I can't pull that kind of because a lot of people around them. a lot of friends, a big circle of friends that kind of like, not that they take it for granted, they're kind of used to being in and around those people. And the people that like a Big Bang Theory kind of yearn for the friendships they make in that show. That's why they enjoy it so much, is they kind of want to latch on. And that's kind of like what you're saying is like, what seems like a normal thing, like friendship and attachment to people, is something that people desperately need and they can't get. So it's like sometimes those things, they seem so apparent to some people that are just miles away for others,
100%.
And that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So we can't talk about what you're doing next because you said it's super top secret, but I mean that just means I see what you're doing, Hans. I see you're for part 3, aren't you? I mean,
part 3, third time lucky. So once we go offline, I can talk about
we will do. We're going to talk about so many secrets when we get
so many secrets and stuff like that. We can talk a bit more about base jumping, all those sorts of things, and what I've jumped off and whatnot. But yeah, it's
you haven't jumped off.
I haven't jumped off it, exactly. But there's some real nice fun projects. Some crazy projects, especially for 2027. That's going to take a little bit to put together. I can't mention that.
I think it'll probably be on part 4 by then.
No, exactly. I have to come back. But yeah, just trying to really sort of like keep busy, keep active. We're winding down to the end of the season now, so we've got one weekend left at Skydive Tilsock, and then we reopen back in February. So if any of your listeners want to come and do a skydive next season, you're very welcome.
They're smiling at me, but like I said, look, no parachutes holding me up. They hold tanks up though, don't they? Parachutes, for Christ's sake. I mean, they're a good way to do it. Anyway, I think in part 3, I come to the airfield.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
At the sound of the planes going, taking off, and just like,
come and have a look. Come and see what happens.
I will definitely. I think that's what we need to do. I love having you regularly come on the show because it's like dipping our toe into this amazing thing that you do. I think that's really, really cool. And I was thinking about charity because you guys do like charity jumps and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the one aspect I really love about skydiving. Tilstock is an amazing drop zone. I'm going to big them up now. Majority of the work that we do in terms of tandems is charity skydives, and that's what I love about it. Is just, don't get me wrong, there's people that come there for their own personal, and it's just like, I'm scared of flying, or just want to do it for maybe their birthday or something like that. But when you get the charity groups in, there's like a real amazing buzz, and some of these people are absolutely petrified. They've maybe been pressurized into doing it. I've had people sort of cry,
crawl out the plane,
and all sorts. And then when they actually, once that parachute is open, I've had people in tears and all sorts, and they absolutely, they just can't get over it. And it's just the atmosphere around it as well. It is really something special, and to be part of that as well, you're helping someone raise a lot of money, and sometimes it's very personal to them. Maybe they lost a loved one to some sort of illness, which happens obviously quite regularly, and they're raising great money for that as well. And it's a debt to Skydive Tilstock for being able to give that to people as well. So I'm very thankful to be played like that.
I remember a few years ago when Phil Gillen was the mayor, he was like, I jumped out of a plane, and he did. He skydives. I was like, wow, we've got a skydiving mayor in Shrewsbury. That's quite cool. Yeah.
And it's quite surprising actually, because quite a lot of people don't realise there's actually a drop zone in Shropshire. So it's North Shropshire, that's just outside Whitchurch. So
is Sleep another one as well?
So Sleep's just an airfield. I say just an airfield. It's one of the busiest airfields.
There's that yellow biplane that's got the massive Instagram account, right? It's the guy that got the yellow biplane. He's always doing mad stunts.
I think that's Brucey.
Is that Bruce?
I think it's Bruce, yeah.
He's got like hundreds of thousands of followers. It's insane.
Yeah, he's so I think he's one of the airfield managers there, and he's got like a little biplane that he does tricks and stuff like that. And I'll big up Slape as well, because we jump into Slapecosh, which is their air show in the summer. Even if you're not like an air sort of airplane enthusiast, what a just go watch the aircraft.
I want to go to that show.
It's amazing. You go watch.
I've never been to Cosford, never been to
Slapecosh. I can't remember. I think it's in sort of like, is it May, June or something like that. That's just even like I said, if you're into aircraft, just go watch the shows of what the aircraft put on, and it's a great time. They have like live music and food and all those sorts of things. It's getting bigger and bigger each year. But Brucey, I think he's got a biplane and does like tricks and flips and stuff like that.
I'm going to try and find him now while we're chatting, because like the stuff that he does with this plane is, because it's a beautiful looking plane as well.
I've been sat in the garden a few times, and I'm like, is that Brucey? Because he's doing like flips and tricks.
Bruce Glass.
Is
that him?
Is that Bruce? Let's bring it down. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, I follow him. And guys, he's only got 2,000. No, there's no way. There's definitely a different one.
But he's good to watch. Like I said,
Bruce Buglass on Instagram. Follow him because he does some cool stuff with his biplane. I love stuff like that though, but I think that's because it's just so like
on the fringe.
It's so like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I do think since we spoke to you last time, I have like watched videos of you guys doing backflips off that bridge and stuff, thinking, oh my God, that would be like the most terrifying moment of my life if I even tried to do that. Like, it's like that moment when I used to do a lot of rock climbing and abseiling when I was younger, but that moment when you like lean off a rock when you're rock climbing, abseiling, it's just that moment of kind of like leaning around. Once you know you're secure and you're safe, there's the relief.
Yeah.
Right? I guess that's a good metaphor for.
Yeah, I think it just when you talk about the bridge at Malau. So I took my friend Tullis. So he. I've known Tullis since I was 8 years old. He owns sort of a stallion sort of breeding company, and I taught him how to base jump this year. And because we're that sort of like personal connection, because I've known him for so long, to me that was actually quite something special. And so the final jump that he did was off the Malau Bridge. And I'll see if I can get some footage for you. But he was quite emotional, which then made me emotional for it. So, you know, that was no. He's seen me through my skydive career, and then I saw him through his base career to doing the small bridges, then leading up to the big bridge. That was something special as well.
That's amazing. Is there an extreme sport you couldn't do? Is there anything that like does terrify you?
Do you know what? I'm actually scared of the sea.
So skydiving, deep sea diving.
Deep sea diving would probably be like
Scuba's a no-no.
Well, I've done it once, but that was off in the harbour. But just the open sea is I find quite absolutely terrifying. But actually not the open sea, but actually being in the water. So if I ever go to the beach, it's up to my knees, waist if I'm feeling brave. And I did live in Australia for a little bit, and that took a long time to actually get into the water. But yeah,
I want to give a shout out to Jimmy, James Rose, my ex co-host of the Thor Skin podcast. He's got a phobia that bad of like sea creatures.
Oh yeah, it's their world.
He couldn't play Assassin's Creed or Far Cry. If a shark came up on the screen, he'd be like, "Oh no!" It'd make him feel uncomfortable. That's how bad it was.
I can do it if I had to do it, and like I said, I won't go swimming in the actual water. I don't know. There's something about the water. Just I can swim. There's absolutely no dramas, but I just think because I can't see what's below me, and that one and spiders. Oh God, spiders! Just don't get me on spiders.
Do you know what? I'm really spiders. I'm alright with spiders till I get muscles, hairs, and sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's
my kryptonite. Spiders. I'll probably let that slip.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So you're not going on I'm a Celebrity then?
No, I did spend a bit in the military. I did spend a bit of time in the actual jungle as well. So that was But again, it's one of those things, isn't it? I mean, I'm absolutely petrified. But if I get put into a situation where I have to deal with it, it's that mindset, isn't it? But yeah, spiders. If I ever got a choice, I'll probably just walk out.
I remember we were in Greece recently, and we went on a boat trip. And it's one of those boat trips where they anchor up to different places. You jump out of a swim, and then they take you out of another place. And they took us to this one place, and it was like, all right, we jump off, and or you can climb down. I was like, I'll jump off. And I was the first one, and there's loads of people behind me. And I had like, have you seen the full face like snorkel? Yeah. I had that, and I can't remember what happened, but I had my goggles. Normal goggles and a baseball cap because I got shiny head and all that into the Greek sun.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm first, so I jumped in the water. I am a very good swimmer. I love the sea. I have no issues with that. But as I jumped in, my goggles went like so. The strap was over my eyes. My hat flipped off and went somewhere. Everyone's going, "Your hat's over there." I couldn't see. The salt was so intense in that particular bit of water that I just looked like an idiot. I just jumped in the water and it was just like, I can't see, and everybody's going, your hat's over there. I'm like, where? It was so funny. I just feel like it doesn't matter how prepared you are, sometimes the most normal things can just make you look silly. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And I think people find that out. Again, I can refer back to the spiders. I try not to let on, but I've told it the cat's out of the bag now. But yeah, if you anything that's bigger than a 2p, I think I'm walking out the room. There's something about them. I'm gone. So I can do all this crazy stuff, but when it comes to spiders, I'm done. Put a fork in me.
Recently, I was staying in a room where I saw a spider run across the carpet, a brown carpet, and the body of it was like a small mouse.
Yeah,
just the body, and then there was the legs. And I threw my shoe at it because, like I said, at a point when they start looking like they could probably bench press me, that's when things get a bit dicey for the spider,
Yeah.
But I missed it. and it went under the bed.
Angered it.
In anything, I just insulted it, you know.
Yeah.
It went under the bed and I couldn't find it. So
that's for me. That if you can't see it, that room's getting torched.
So I had to go to bed just with a knowledge that a spider was under the bed.
Absolutely no chance. Yeah. I've had that before. Where
I live to tell the tale, though. I mean, I'm all right. I mean,
that spider needs to be found.
I think there are like obscure phobias. I think we should explore this with the biscuit. Who's got an obscure phobia?
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, because some people have got phobias like ketchup and
like balloons and things like that.
Yeah. Clowns is a big one. Like
clowns is a very big one. They don't bother me. I got a friend that's scared of clowns, but
we had where I live. It's really good for like Halloween and stuff. They're really brilliant. And in fact, it looks beautiful at Christmas as well.
I was just driving into your estate, buddy, and I tell you what, I'm actually very impressed. Well done for the people that live here for their lights. Very, very good.
Yeah, shout out to Sutton Grange, massive. Yeah, but a couple of years ago we did trick or treating, and there's this kid up on one of the streets at the far left there. He was dressed as Pennywise, and he was so brilliant because he'd just stand and stare at you holding his balloon.
Yeah, that's a bit.
And slowly, so the clowns don't bother me, but I mean that's pretty good. I mean, yeah. I wanted to get a mask and just stare at kids through the window. My wife wouldn't let me. I've got one of those little LED lights you get from Temu, and I was just going to put it on the windowsill with a mask and just stare at the kids as they were doing the trick-or-treating. But my wife said that'd be too terrifying for the kids.
A little bit. Don't make them cry.
Yeah. Well, Hans, you've been incredible today. I always love chatting to you. I'm looking forward to your next adventure. I know you're going to tell me off air, but we'll have to wait to hear about it on the Shrewsbury Biscuit. Is there anything that you want from the listeners? Are you looking for people to come and do skydives? Or has there been a dip in people coming to do skydives? Do you want people to understand more about it? I mean, like, what?
I wouldn't say. I mean, obviously we went through COVID. There was a bit of a dip there, but it's really starting to sort of make a comeback.
Do you want people to stop sky? Too many people. No. There's too many people.
No, we want more. I mean, for me, it'd be great to have more people to jump. And again, it's just like if you ever had any sort of doubts about doing it, just go online, type up, Skydive Tilstock, and have a look. There's so many great charities. You can choose any charity that you want to jump for, and you never know. You may even get me strapped to the back of you. you lucky person.
And you might end up out the plane quicker if somebody's holding a spider walking towards Hans. So thank you so much for. Where can people follow you again? Remind people.
So I've got my own. So I've got my own Instagram account. It's just It's just _ Hans Donner. HANSDONNER_. So I think my picture is me jumping out of a balloon with a unicorn. So you can see me on Instagram.
Instagram is very likable, by the way. The stuff.
Thank you very much.
And obviously before it was Mountain Man Base, but I still follow those guys as well because what they do is incredible.
Yeah.
And then I guess at Tilstock.
Yeah, Skydive Tilstock. They've got an Instagram page as well. But yeah, if you're thinking, next year you want to do something, absolutely incredible and for a great cause. Yeah, there's lots of charities out there, lots of things you can do, but skydiving I think is pretty much that's a real big one, isn't it?
Like thinking because I'm looking for ideas for pod aid, and I was like, no, let's see if the pod aid thing is like sitting in a room for 24 hours with a microphone, not jumping out of an airplane. So really sorry, it's not.
So maybe we can speak to Buzz, the owner, and maybe sort of maybe in the summertime we can do a podcast from Tilstock, or maybe before that we do a bit of a raffle perhaps for one of your listeners. Something like that,
That would be incredible.
Or something.
Send one of my listeners out of a plane.
There you go. we could put a mic on them as well.
Oh, we're cracking on with ideas now. So we've got a videographer, last week's guest, John Molyneux, and we've got an idea for a raffle for pod aid. That'd be incredible. Right. Brilliant. I'll let you go.
Alex, thank you very much.
Thank you. There we go, folks. There's Hans, great guest, great friend of the show. Always been very, very supportive from the moment he came on last time. So thank you, Hans, for coming on for a second time. And we're going to have to do the third one. Absolutely. Next year, I'd love to record a podcast coming from an airfield. Can you imagine me recording a podcast with screaming airplanes going over? It'd be wonderful. It really would. I just wanted to mention that I do have plans for Pod Aid for 2026. I'm going to get Christmas and the New Year out of the way, and then I'm going to be sitting down with people. We've got John Molyneux on board as our videographer. I need to find sponsors. I'm going to try and create some meetings with the charities, venues. We'll try and find some partners for it as well. If you want to get involved with Pod Aid 2026, please drop me an email. My email is shrewsburyBiscuitPodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Last year, woo. The whole point of us doing this is because we haven't done it for a while. But the last time we did this,
there was an amazing team of people that rallied around it. We had a great team of presenters. We had lots of favours handed out to us. We had great guests. We've had help from Love to Stay for the second year, first year Shrewsbury Town. So yeah, it's a huge undertaking. It needs lots of help from the community, but we can do really well. And this next one, I want to raise money for Lincoln Davis and for Shrewsbury Arc. I think we can do it. We can really make a difference. So Pod 8 2026 is coming to you soon. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. If it is your first time listening to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast, please give us a follow. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can also find everything that you need to know about this podcast at our website, which is the shrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk. And that is lovingly made for us by our sponsors, Web Orchard. They are amazing at what they do. And if you need a website for whatever it is you do in the world, don't be shy. They'll make the perfect website for you. And if you've listened to this podcast and you've gone over and said, oh yeah, I'm going to get a website with Web Orchard, please just tell them that the Shrewsbury Biscuit sent you with regards, because it really, really does help. Thank you for tuning in. I want to try and end the year on a positive, so we'll find something special to end the year with. But until then, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.